as I'm getting prepared for my first combat mission, I pulled out one of those wallet-sized pictures of my 5-year-old son, Brett. And it was, for me, a light switch that went on and I became fierce. My fangs came out drooling of just anger and determination that I was going to go execute the mission and come back to my son. So first of all, my mother and father were veterans. My mother was a corporal, my father was a young fighter pilot when they got married. We could assume I wanted to be one like my father, but it wasn't until I actually got flying myself that I realized that I had the addiction that would carry me for ultimately 41 years of flying fighter jets. Canada has a history of the civil war that went on in Bosnia and Croatia in the early 90s, but it flared up again in the late 1990s. It became not just a conflict, but ultimately an attempt at genocide. And the Western world watched this and realized that they had to step in and stop this from happening. And in past times, it might have been a peacekeeping force, but it became very clear that in this case, it was going to be an armed force to stop the genocide. So I was the commanding officer of an F-18 squadron that was destined to be the lead squadron of any operation that Canada was going to undertake. And the timing became such that we showed up exactly at the time when combat was going to break out. And our record is astonishing. In effect, 3 months, Canadian fighter pilots flew nearly 700 combat missions. Half the time, Canadian fighter pilots were the leaders in charge of these massive attack formations in and out of enemy territory. And that speaks so much to the professionalism of the men and women of the RCAF. I was the commanding officer of a composite unit of people from 5 different fighter squadrons, and I needed unity. And so we looked for a mascot, and we picked the idea of having a rat. And I had a very talented ground crew who came up with this picture of this gnarly rat with these big, long, gnarly teeth. And it became a symbol for all of us. And ultimately, at the end of combat, everybody in Canada wanted to be in Italy and be part of the Balkan Rats. We gained such an amazing reputation. And it was the single unifying force for every pilot that we were one single unit going to war together. And the generals hated it, and the men and women all loved it. I am forever humbled and blessed that I grew up in this Air Force with the instructors and trainers that I had, given the opportunity that the Air Force gave me that opened up this wonderful, blessed aviation world that I lived for so long. It's all because I joined the Air Force as a young kid and lived a dream.